I kicked the bucket just a month after saying I do. I choked on a candy that my hubby Liam shoved into my mouth. Once I was gone, my spirit floated around, watching Liam team up with my bestie, Maya. They happily grabbed control of my family's estate. It was only then I realized they had also offed my parents. I saw them standing by my bedside, laughing hysterically at me. This chunky bitch actually thought I was head over heels for her. Classic. Liam was all disgusted, wanting to kick my dead body. Maya stopped him. "What are you doing? You want to get caught by the cops?" Only then did Liam hold back. "You go first." "I'll clean up here," Maya said, putting on gloves. Liam kissed Maya. "I'll handle things here," Maya added, still in gloves. King kissed Maya. "I'll leave it to you. Don't leave any evidence." Maya giggled. "I got you. Let's bounce." Turns out, Maya was a forensic doctor. So ironic, right? I was the one who funded her studies. Never thought she'd go nuts and hook up with Liam. I watched Maya tidy the scene and pull out a familiar bottle from a drawer. She glanced at the bottle, smiled, then looked at my corpse. She's as dumb as a rock. I stared fixedly at that bottle. Those were the vitamins Maya gave me. Suddenly, it clicked why I'd suddenly ballooned up. My face twisted with rage, wanting to tear Maya apart, but then I felt my soul dispersing. I roared helplessly. The pain was so intense it jolted me awake. I opened my eyes to see a bunch of students gathered around. "Ella, you all right?" A guy looked at me worried, but didn't dare come closer. I recognized his face, so sharp and handsome. In my past life, I was so mesmerized by Liam. Otherwise, how could I've overlooked this Tyler right in front of me? "Hey, Ella," Tyler waved. I snapped back to reality, my face a bit flushed. "I'm fine." I wanted to run and find a quiet spot to gather my thoughts, but Tyler stopped me. "Ella, I'll take you to the infirmary." He led me there. I glanced at the familiar yet strange path and the classmates along the way. I secretly pinched my thigh again. Ouch! I frowned in pain. Yeah, I was reborn. Hearing my voice, Tyler's worry deepened. "Almost there. Let me carry you." Seeing him bend down, I quickly said, No, I'm heavy. You can carry 3 people." Tyler turned to me, a slight smirk on his face, bright and warm eyes shining. I froze, forgetting I hadn't actually gained weight and wasn't a hefty woman over 200 pounds. Seeing no response, Tyler just hoisted me onto his back and hurried to the infirmary. The young man's energy flowed into my gloomy heart, making something sprout inside me again. It was life and rebirth. After checking my wound at the infirmary, it was just a mild concussion. I couldn't help but keep looking at the young guy beside me. Suddenly, there was a commotion. "Ella, how are you? What if something happened to you?" At the door, I heard Maya's fake shouts. She didn't know I had died in my previous life. I frowned. Tyler, who had been standing quietly, walked out. The noise outside ceased. Maya walked in with red eyes. "Ella, how are you?" I sneered inwardly. In my last life, I was duped by someone like her. Exactly. Others, seeing her like this, would think we were tight sisters with a deep bond. Little did they know she was a nasty person. I forced a smile. "I'm okay, I just got hit by a ball." Maya took my hand, tearfully saying, "You scared me to death. I rushed over as soon as I heard you were hurt." I sneered inside. Just hearing her words, one would think she was sweet. But when you look into her eyes, there's no worry, just a hint of smugness. Only after I died in my past life did I realize Maya was jealous of me. She envied my family's wealth and my beauty. And it didn't matter that I was gorgeous. I was also top-notch back then. So she hooked up with Liam when I was still beautiful. When I was a senior in high school, trying to make me obsessed with love, she found Liam. Unexpectedly, I kept up my studies even while dating. In the end, she could only make me gain weight and attack my appearance. Back then, people around me verbally abused me, leaving me so demoralized that I didn't go to a top university, but ended up at a regular one with Liam. Maya cried in front of me, saying her dad was forcing her to drop out. I couldn't stand it and sent her to Harvard to study medicine, which she liked. Now, seeing her fake demeanor, I felt so stupid. I asked my parents to grant Maya a $1 million scholarship, and she used her medical knowledge to kill my parents. After crying for a bit, Maya realized I wasn't comforting her. She glanced at me, scared by my cold stare. Ella, why are you looking at me like that? Maya asked timidly. I snapped back, blinking. I was just zoning out. What did you say? I smiled. Maya looked at me again, not noticing anything unusual. You scared me to death. Who hit you? I'll help you scold him. Maya looked around and finally saw Tyler by the wall. She shyly lowered her eyes. Was it you who hit Ella? Tyler's face turned cold. He was nothing like when he carried me earlier. He simply replied, Yeah. Tyler, Ella hates guys like you the most. You better apologize properly. Maya seemed oblivious to Tyler's icy demeanor and flirted with him playfully. In my past life, I was so dizzy from being hit, I didn't pay attention to their convo. This was why I got blamed when I gained weight and no one stood up for me. Seeing the classmates watching outside, Maya was still stirring up hatred towards me. Ella had always looked down on us. She's a rich girl. It's our honor she studies here with us. We should be thankful. Hurry up and apologize to Ella, or she'll be pissed. Maya gave me a terrified look. The other classmates were giving me dirty looks at this moment. But this time, I wasn't gonna let Maya set me up. Maya, how could you do this? I already told Tyler it's cool. I'm super grateful he took me to the infirmary. How can you just say that I hate my classmates? If I hated them, would I help those with bad grades? I looked at Maya sadly. With the wound on my forehead, no one would believe me. Tyler also chimed in coldly. Classmate Maya is really weird. Classmate Ella hasn't said anything, yet you know she hates me. Are you her mind reader? The classmates outside whispered. Yeah, Maya's been talking all along. Isn't she ruining Ella's rep like this? Maya's face went pale suddenly. She hurriedly approached me. Ella, I was wrong earlier. I was so worried about you. Okay, I won't do this again. Don't talk about other classmates like that, okay? I said gently. The disgust in Maya's eyes grew even stronger. Her lowered lashes masked her thoughts. Got it. I glanced at Tyler. Tyler, I'm okay now. You can go back first. Class is about to start. Have a good rest. I'll come over after class. Tyler's eyes softened a bit as he looked at me. I smiled slightly and saw Maya's fingers, turning white from pinching, out of the corner of my eye. Maya, you should head back too. Maya looked at me with red eyes and reluctantly said, Then I'll go to class first. I just smiled without saying anything and lay down to rest. Maya quickly followed Tyler and left. Watching them go, I could finally think clearly about my next move. Liam would show up in the next few days. They'd team up to deceive me. This time, I'd make them pay for what they did. I called my dad and asked him to come pick me up. Seeing my dad's face, my eyes welled up with tears. In my past life, after I gained weight, I was always irritable and didn't want to talk to my parents. Later, my parents were tricked by Liam into traveling and were killed abroad. I was still blaming my parents until I died. I was really unfilial. Dad, why are you crying? Tell him who bullied you. Dad looked at me nervously, noticing my wound with a distressed expression. Dad, give me a hug. I opened my arms and looked at him. Dad hugged me tightly, comforting me. Dad's here. Tell him who bullied you and Dad will take care of it. No one, I was just hit by a ball. I miss you and Mom so much. I sobbed. Dad felt even more distressed. He thought I was under a lot of study pressure. Ella, don't stress yourself too much. Just do your best. Okay, let's go home. I want to eat Mom's cooking. I wiped my tears and pulled myself together. Dad will take you home. He'll buy whatever you want to eat, Dad said generously. Dad took me to the mall and bought lots of snacks and dinner food. We went home happily and saw Mom waiting at the door. I ran over cheerfully. Mom! Inside, I thought the words I couldn't say out loud. I missed you so much. Mom looked at my wound with concern. How are you feeling now? Dizzy? Do we need to go to the hospital? I'm okay, Mom. Just a scratch. Nothing serious. I acted sweetly while holding Mom's hand. Mom, I'm hungry. Mom lovingly tapped my nose. Little foodie, you only think about eating when you get home. Who made Mom's cooking so delicious? I didn't get to eat it at school. I pouted like before, afraid my parents would notice something was off. Mom smiled happily and I followed her to the kitchen. Oh, you go and rest. I'll call you when it's done. Mom quickly sent me to the living room. Ella, go and rest. I'll help Mom cook. Dad squeezed into the kitchen. My eyes welled up. I blinked, not wanting tears to fall. Reluctantly, I sat at the bar beside the kitchen and chatted with them. Then I saw a message from Maya. Ella, why did you go home? I've been waiting for you all along. I sneered. In my past life, Maya always rode in my family's car. Back then, I didn't care. Just thought it was no big deal to give her a ride since her home was far. Later, I found out she exploited my dad giving her rides, telling others it was out of family affection and used my dad's name to attract investments. She could forget about it from now on. In the morning when I went to school, Dad insisted on driving me. I wanted to refuse, but then thought of something and didn't. I took Dad's Maybach to school. As soon as I got out, I saw Tyler and Maya at the school gate. Maya had her back to me and was talking to Tyler, clearly trying to flirt, because I saw Tyler looking gloomy and impatient, yet he didn't leave, as if waiting for someone. Tyler caught my gaze and smiled slightly, then walked towards me. Classmate Ella, I brought you breakfast. Tyler handed me a bag of steamed dumplings. I checked the dumplings and saw they were from my favorite spot. I looked at him in a good mood and said, Thanks, Tyler. You can just call me Ella. I glanced at Maya behind me out of the corner of my eye. Sure enough, she was glaring at me with jealous eyes, and as soon as she saw my glance, her expression changed instantly. All right, just use my first name then. Tyler's bright eyes made me a bit shy. Maya then squeezed in front of Tyler and took my arm. Ella, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you so long. As she said that, she pulled me away. I smiled faintly. Knowing she didn't want me to interact with Tyler anymore, I turned my head and waved at Tyler, then was pulled away by Maya. Without Tyler around, I only felt disgusted and angry towards Maya. I had been sincere with her, but she set me up. I clenched my fists tightly to control my raging emotions. On my face, I still had to pretend to be sweet and kind. By the way, my brother has transferred to our school. Let's have lunch together at noon and get to know him, Maya said with a smile. Finally, here it comes. I smiled indifferently. I was about to grab some food when Maya pushed me to sit at the dining table and wait. Ella, my brother, I'll go get the food. You stay here and save the seats. Maya then went to the front to get the food. I hadn't seen Ethan yet. While looking for him, I saw Tyler approaching with 2 dinner plates. Tyler placed one in front of me. I saw you hadn't grabbed your food yet, so I got it for you. Looking at his handsome face, my lack of appetite vanished. I smiled sweetly. Thanks. These are all my favorites. The 2 dishes were different. Let's share them. Tyler's cool and perfect side profile looked even more elegant in the sunlight. All right. I picked up a piece of sweet and sour pork tenderloin. It tasted just as good as before and was so delicious, I couldn't help but close my eyes slightly. Tyler couldn't help but laugh when he saw me. My face flushed a bit. It was all because the food was too tasty. Sorry, you're just too cute that I couldn't help but laugh. Tyler's deep and magnetic voice echoed. I was about to say something when I saw Ethan and Maya, and my eyes turned cold. Tyler followed my gaze and looked over, but didn't say anything. He moved a bit and sat down beside me. Seeing this, Maya's smile froze. She slammed the dinner plate onto the table. Ella, I already bought you food. Why did you let classmate Tyler buy it again? Before I could say anything, Maya complained again. Your behavior is really bad. It's a waste of food and makes Tyler uncomfortable. At this moment, Tyler's cold voice rang out. I bought the food for Ella. I didn't see you earlier, so I grabbed it first. Isn't that okay? No, if Ella had said something first, this wouldn't have happened. Maya looked at Tyler with a pitiful expression. Anyone who didn't know the situation would think I was taking advantage of her. Ethan quickly stepped in. It's okay. It's just an extra portion. We can share it. Hello, classmate Ella. I'm Ethan, Maya's brother. You can come to me if you have any problems in the future. Ethan had an air of scholarship about him, like a friendly older brother. In my past life, I was deceived by his gentlemanly appearance. I looked at him with my innocent big eyes. Hello, Senior Ethan. Maya couldn't keep dwelling on what had just happened. She pulled her brother to sit in front of me and sat in front of Tyler. Ella, I know you're wealthy, but don't waste like this next time. Okay, I'll help Ella get food from now on until her wound heals. There's no need for classmate Maya to do that. Tyler looked at me and said, ignoring Maya's frozen face across from him, then I'll trouble you. I smiled charmingly. Looking at the dishes the siblings got, they were all vegetarian. In my past life, I was deceived and couldn't stand it. So I gave Maya my meal card. Maya's family sent them to this elite school just to make friends with rich people. After paying the tuition, they didn't have much money left. After Maya and her brother got to know me, they ate and drank with my money and plotted against me. Now I wanted to eat meat and watch them eat veggies. I picked up a piece of sweet and sour pork tenderloin and glanced at Tyler's sweet and sour spare ribs beside me. Tyler said in a pleasant voice, "If you want to eat it, just take some. Then I won't be polite." I picked up a piece of sweet and sour spare ribs and took a satisfying bite. Maya watched me eating meat and wanted some of mine like before. I blocked her. "Maya, what are you doing? Don't you know I'm a bit of a germaphobe? Ella, you always shared food with me before. What's wrong?" Maya's tone was soft, as if scared of me. "Before you used my meal card to buy a lot of food. I only ate one meat dish and one vegetarian dish. And you ate the rest. Classmate Tyler also got one meat dish and one vegetarian dish for me, and I don't even have enough to eat. Why do you still want to eat mine? I could play the innocent victim too." I looked at her pitifully. "Classmate Maya, you can just eat the extra portion you got." Tyler's cold voice carried a bit of annoyance. Maya didn't expect Tyler to help me too. She reluctantly withdrew her chopsticks. She still didn't give up. She blinked and looked at Tyler. "Tyler, I also like sweet and sour spare ribs. Can you give me a piece?" "No." Tyler refused directly. I watched the drama while picking up another piece of sweet and sour spare ribs. Maya was angry, her face turning red. "Ella, how could you do this? Classmate Tyler is just too nice to say anything to you, but you can't bully him like this. Maya, you're really weird." Tyler didn't say anything. "Who are you to him?" I asked curiously. "I'm not familiar with her. Don't pay attention to her. Take whatever you want to eat." "I don't mind," Tyler said. I raised my eyebrows and looked at Maya. Ethan spoke up again. "All right, Maya, I know you care about Ella too much. Here, Ella, your favorite shredded potatoes." Ethan was about to put the shredded potatoes into my bowl with his chopsticks. I moved my bowl away. "I'm a germaphobe?" Ethan froze for a moment and withdrew his chopsticks. "Sorry, I just forgot." I didn't pay attention to him either. After all, we'd just met and I couldn't show too much. I happily ate my meal. Soon the college entrance exams would be coming in half a semester. I knew Ethan was losing his patience because I didn't fall for him and revolve around him like I did in my past life. As expected, Maya came with the vitamins she gave me in my previous life. "Ella, these are the vitamins my mom asked someone to buy. We're under a lot of pressure now and need to take some supplements. Otherwise, many students will freak out during the exam due to the stress." Maya shared with me in a low voice. I happily held her hand. "Maya, you're so nice. You still think of me? I'm so touched." A look of contempt flashed in Maya's eyes, and she smiled slightly. "We're best friends. We must share good things together." "Well, I also have something for you, whitening pills." I raised my eyebrows at her. "What are whitening pills?" Maya asked confusedly. "Aren't you envious that I'm so fair? I'm this fair because I take these Japanese whitening pills," I said proudly. "Originally, I didn't want anyone else to know. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have told you." I crossed my arms and pouted. Seeing me like this and knowing I always cared about my appearance, Maya didn't suspect anything. She excitedly took my hand and shook it. "I know Ella is the best. All right. I'll give them to you tomorrow. I didn't bring them with me." I patted her hand and seized the chance to pull mine back. Maya left cheerfully. I smiled slightly as I watched her leave. When I got home, I put the vitamins Maya gave me into the bottle of whitening pills. I specifically found pills that matched the vitamins she gave me. Maya would definitely check them when she saw the pills. Sure enough, a look of suspicion flashed in Maya's eyes when she saw the pills. "What's the matter? Don't you like them? Then give them back to me." I reached out my hand, looking dissatisfied to take them back. Maya dodged. "No, it's just that I'm seeing them for the first time and they're pretty new." "How long until they work?" Maya looked into my eyes. 1 week, I said confidently. By the way, the college entrance exams are coming soon. My brother invited us to hang out together. Maya put away the whitening pills and said, I frowned. In my past life, it was after the exams. This time, it's so much earlier. Forget it. Let's celebrate after the exams, I said. Maya pouted and acted sweetly. Just come with me. I've been so stressed lately that my hair is falling out. I still have a lot to talk to you about. Maya kept holding on to me and wouldn't let go. Just as I was about to agree, I saw Tyler. What are you doing? Tyler asked as he looked at me. Maya and I want to go to Bion Mountain this weekend to play, Maya quickly said. Would you mind if I join you? Tyler raised the corners of his mouth and glanced at Maya. No, this is a girls' gathering. It's inconvenient for you to join. Maya refused hurriedly. Isn't your brother going too? Why can't Tyler? I asked innocently. Maya was at a loss for words. If Tyler can't go, I won't go either. I didn't want to go in the first place. I refused indifferently. No, Maya shouted directly upon hearing that. I looked at her in surprise. Maya coughed when she saw my look. Ella, you just agreed to go with me. How can you go back on your word? I didn't say anything and just quietly looked at her. In the end, Maya had to compromise and let Tyler go with us. See you at the weekend. I turned around and smiled at Tyler, then slowly walked into the classroom. At the weekend, we gathered at the foot of Bion Mountain. I went there with Tyler. When we arrived, Maya and the others were already there. Ella, over here! Maya waved excitedly. I walked over slowly. Let's go. At first, everything was normal, but as we walked along, the path became more remote. There was little sunlight on this side, and it was gloomy. Have we gone astray? There's no one here, I asked impatiently. No, my brother has been here before. There's a hot spring up there. Few people know about it, Maya said excitedly without even turning her head. I felt a bit uneasy. In my past life, at this time, Ethan confessed his love to me, and I accepted. Because Maya kept telling me how awesome her brother was every day, I thought Ethan was full of merits back then. Sure enough, Ethan came over when we were taking a break. Ella, I like you. Could you be my girlfriend? I pretended to be stunned for a few seconds. Classmate Ethan, I just want to study hard right now and don't want to be in a relationship. It won't affect our studies. We can discuss studies together after school. Ethan obviously wasn't going to give up easily. No, your grades are just okay. What can we discuss? I said with innocent eyes. Poof! Tyler couldn't help but laugh. Sorry, please continue. Ethan's face darkened, and he turned around and left. After a while, Maya came over. Ella, my brother likes you so much. Why did you reject him? Maya said, dissatisfied. Just because he likes me, do I have to accept him? There are so many people who like me. If I had to accept everyone, how could I study? I really couldn't understand how her mind worked. Maya's eyes were full of anger. It's different. My brother is so nice to you. So, what's the difference between you and a heartless woman by rejecting him like this? You're cheating on his feelings. Nice to me? I couldn't help but laugh. Come on, tell me how he's nice to you. I looked down at her. Fine, I'll tell you. My brother comes to your class to chat with you every day after school. He tells you about his day every day. He also says good morning, good afternoon, and good night to you every day. Look, who else cares about you like this? Maya said righteously. I laughed. Is that all? Classmate Tyler also buys me food every morning and noon. Compared to your brother who only gives verbal care, should I marry classmate Tyler? I crossed my arms. You. Classmate Tyler doesn't even like you, Maya blurted out without thinking. You even know what forcing means. Weren't you morally blackmailing me just now? I tore off my fake appearance and didn't want to argue with this kind of person. Classmate Maya, forcing others to be your brother's girlfriend like this. Does your brother have something hard to tell? Tyler said coldly, looking at Maya casually. Don't talk nonsense. Maya was so angry she ran away. I sat next to Tyler, thinking about taking a break and then going down the mountain. After a while, I felt something was wrong. The more I rested, the more tired I felt. Then I heard Maya scream and saw her running back in a panic. Classmate Tyler, please go and save my brother. He's fallen into a trap. Maya was in tears. Tyler frowned and glanced at me. Maya saw it too and said, Ella will be fine here. It's broad daylight. Let's go save my brother quickly and we'll be back soon. I looked at Maya's anxious look. It didn't seem fake. You go ahead. I'll wait for you here. They left, and the surroundings fell silent. It was so quiet that even the sound of birds seemed loud. A flock of birds flew away in panic in the sky. There was a rustling sound coming from the grass in front. My heart tightened, and I quietly hid in the grass beside me. The sound in front was getting closer and closer. The grass and trees made a sparse noise as something passed by. Then the sound stopped. Where is she? Didn't they say she was here? 3 men stood where I had just been resting. They didn't look like good people at first glance. Look for her? She can't have gone far, a scar-faced man said. They split up to look for me. I hid behind and didn't dare move. After not hearing any sound, I thought I'd go find Tyler secretly. I walked out quietly, grabbed my backpack, and was just about to leave when a man jumped out, startling me. Haha, I saw you hiding behind earlier. The scar-faced man and the other 2 had evil smiles on their faces. I calmed myself and backed up to the tree. I wasn't sure before, but from what he said, I was certain they were looking for me. I don't have any grudges against you. Who hired you? While reaching into my school bag to find my phone, I tried to buy some time. We don't have a grudge. It's just bad luck we ran into you. The man in gray clothes looked at me with an evil glare. It's Maya, right? I said in a certain tone. The man in gray was stunned for a moment and then quickly said loudly, What, Maya? We're just here to have some fun. We saw you were alone and wanted to play with you. The 2 men beside him followed and laughed, slowly approaching me. Maya didn't tell you my identity, did she? I smiled indifferently. The scar-faced man stopped when he saw that I wasn't scared at all. We're not curious about your identity. Anyway, after we've had enough fun, we'll take some pictures. Really? I said. I'm Ella. The scar-faced man was stunned for a few seconds. From the family of the richest man, Victor? Yes, I replied calmly. The scar-faced man looked at me and then laughed again. Then you're our lucky charm. How much do you think your father will give me if I take the pictures to him? Only if you're alive to spend it, I said, looking into his eyes. I've heard that the richest man, Victor, spoils his daughter. If his beloved daughter is defiled and the pictures spread, do you think he dares to risk it? The scar-faced man wasn't scared. Instead, he tried to intimidate me. He won't take the risk, I said confidently. The 3 of them laughed. Because I'll make sure you die a miserable death at all costs, I said in a cold tone that sounded like a vicious curse. In the silent space, their smiles froze. Really? Then so what? It's an honor to die for a beauty, and we can also drag Miss Ella down with us. It's a good deal, the scar-faced man said harshly. Really, what about your families? I smiled evilly. A look of hesitation flashed in the scar-faced man's eyes, and the 2 boys behind him even took a step back. I only have one life. As for you, I sneered coldly. How can I be sure you won't take revenge on us if we let you go? The scar-faced man asked with a gloomy face. If you don't touch me, we have no grudges. Then why would I go looking for trouble? I said slowly, not daring to lower my guard. The scar-faced man thought for a while and waved his hand to signal the 2 behind him to retreat. At this moment, my bodyguards also arrived and quickly protected me. Wait a minute, I suddenly spoke up, and they were startled. What, Miss Ella, are you backing out? The scar-faced man looked at me warily. I'll hire you to do something for me. I looked at them calmly. I stayed put with my bodyguards. If I wasn't waiting for Tyler, I wouldn't have stayed here to get bitten by mosquitoes. Tyler ran back and looked at me nervously. I smiled slightly but stopped when I saw Maya and her brother behind him. Let's go back, I said to Tyler. All right, Tyler didn't ask any more questions and followed me. Hey, Ella, ask your bodyguard to carry my brother. Maya saw that my clothes were neat and said through gritted teeth. I turned my head to look at her. Sure, 1,000 for carrying him down. Ella, even if you rejected me, you don't have to treat me like this. I'm already injured, Ethan said incredulously. So you're injured? What then? I hired my bodyguards with money. If you want him to carry your brother, just pay him. It's none of my business. I looked down on him condescendingly. Maya was so angry she pointed at me. My brother got injured because of you. How could you refuse to save him when he's in danger? Because of me? Did I make him fall into the pit, or did you see me push him down? I took the cake the bodyguard gave me and started eating. I was so angry I got hungry. Everyone says classmates should help each other. What's wrong with that? Maya looked at Tyler with red eyes. Tyler ignored her and quietly stayed beside me. I rolled my eyes and left directly. After falling out, I remained calm until after the college entrance exams. After finishing the last exam, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. This time, I would definitely go to Tsinghua University and stay away from these two scumbags from Maya's family. Ella, why did you harm me? Maya came up to me crying. I looked at the over 200-pound Maya in front of me and could hardly recognize her. I looked at her in surprise. What are you talking about? You're saying I harmed you for no reason. Maya looked at me with a vicious glare. I sneered inwardly. She just found out there was something wrong with the whitening pills. It's the whitening pills you gave me that made me so fat. Maya cried loudly, attracting the attention of classmates. Look at how vicious Ella is. She gave me fattening pills to eat. I used to be her best friend, but I didn't expect her to harm me like this. Maya was crying pitifully. I looked at her coldly. Isn't it because you wanted to date my brother and I stopped you? I was just afraid you'd delay your studies and kindly reminded you. How could you harm me like this? Maya sat on the ground, aggrievedly. The classmates beside us started pointing fingers at me, and some vloggers crowded in front of me, recording videos. A male vlogger accused me self-righteously. I didn't expect that you, a young female student, could be so vicious. Take her to the hospital for treatment right away, or I'll let everyone on the internet know what you're really like. Idiot. The reason why there are keyboard warriors is because of people like you who take things out of context, I retorted. I could tell from the male vlogger's face he was a mean person. What are you talking about? I'm upright. Don't change the topic. The male vlogger pointed at me angrily. Do you know what happened? Do you know why she gained weight? Do you have a hospital certificate? Do you have the medicine that proves I harmed her? I said word for word, you. The male vlogger was at a loss for words when contradicted like this. He looked at Maya. Classmate, where's the medicine? Have you gone to the hospital for an examination? Maya had been watching our argument. She didn't expect that I could defuse the situation with just a few words. It's the whitening pills she gave me. I became like this after taking them. The whitening pills I gave you were imported from Japan. You can take them for inspection. I looked down at her condescendingly. At this time, Maya had a bitter look on her face. I've taken the medicine. The male anchor was a bit anxious seeing her like this. Maya, you're wrongly accusing me for no reason. Why don't you take it for testing? From just now until now, you've been saying there's something wrong with the whitening pills I gave you, but you've never shown the test report. You put on weight yourself and want to blackmail me, right? Otherwise, why don't you directly sue the whitening pill company instead of coming to me? The more I said, the more aggrieved I felt, my eyes turning red. Maya saw that everyone around was looking at her. She waved her hands flusteredly. No, I mean Ella replaced the medicine inside. How could you do this? I shared them with you when you wanted them at that time. I didn't even want to give them to you then. I didn't expect you to give them to you now. I raised my hand to wipe the tears from my eyes, but inside I was laughing because I knew she had already finished taking the medicine. The male vlogger sensed something was wrong and urged Maya, then take out the whitening pills and let's have a look. I've already finished them. Maya shrank her neck. Finished? You said there was something wrong with the whitening pills, but you still took them all? The male anchor looked at Maya in disbelief. I didn't know at first. I only found out later. Maya stiffened her neck. Have you gone to the hospital for an examination? The male anchor asked again. No, I came here today to ask Ella to take me to the hospital, Maya said righteously. There was an uproar in the crowd. You're trying to blackmail her, little girl? An old man said. Those who had been defending Maya secretly took a step back. The male anchor's face darkened. He had been used by others. Maya still didn't know what was good for her. It's the whitening pill she gave me that made me so fat. It's only right that she takes me to the hospital for an examination. She'll have to pay for my recovery to my original state in the future. I sneered inwardly and looked at the mobile phone the male anchor was using for the live broadcast. Anchor, you've seen it too. Do you still want to help her plot against me? The male anchor hurriedly apologized. I'm wrong. I spoke without knowing the whole story. I apologize to you. Only then did I look at Maya. Maya, we used to be very good friends. I know your family didn't have much money after sending you to the private school. If you wanted to borrow money from me to go to the hospital, I'd definitely lend it to you without hesitation. I regarded you as a friend, but you treated me as an ATM. And you even tried to ruin my reputation in public. Would you be satisfied if I couldn't go to college? I said while crying. I didn't. Don't talk nonsense. It's the medicine you gave me that made me fat. Maya was a bit flustered seeing that no one was helping her. There are many reasons for your weight gain. Why do you insist there's something wrong with the whitening pills I gave you? Then you can directly sue the manufacturer. Why do you keep targeting me? I asked her with red eyes. The male vlogger also stood on my side. That's right. You're trying to blackmail for money. You said there was something wrong with her medicine, but you don't have a test report. You just open your mouth and say others have harmed you. Maya was sweating profusely from the argument and fell to the ground. The people around quickly stepped back, afraid of being blackmailed. Ethan pushed his way through the crowd. I'm sorry, my sister is under too much pressure and is a bit out of it. I'm sorry, I'll take her away now. Wait a minute, I stopped them. Your sister just wrongly accused me like that. Is it okay to just say sorry? What if she says I'm the one who harmed her again tomorrow? It's you! It's you! Maya shouted. Then what does classmate Ella want so you'll let my sister go? Ethan asked with a helpless look in his eyes. Can't you talk properly? If you can't, shut your mouth. It's your sister who wants to blackmail me. You should ask her why she's doing this to me. I frowned as I looked at the two siblings. These two probably aren't good people. It's already good that others aren't pursuing the matter, but they still try to smear others while leaving. The old man saw through Ethan's little trick at a glance. Everyone present heard your sister just say that I was the one who made her fat. You should know that, right? I looked at him coldly. Ethan nodded. So if I take your sister to the hospital for an examination and it turns out the obesity was not caused by the whitening pills, you two have to make a video to apologize to me. I said in a cold tone, with an air of authority, even without getting angry. Ethan's face turned ugly upon hearing that. No need. I'll apologize to you now. That won't do. Many people knew about it when this anchor was broadcasting live just now. If this matter isn't cleared up, what if you make an issue of it again in the future? What am I supposed to do then? After saying that, I took a step back and looked at the two siblings with a frightened look. The male anchor heard this and also spoke up, fearing his fans would scold him. I agree. I'll go to the hospital with you. In the end, Ethan couldn't refuse and had to go to the hospital with us for the examination. The results came out. The report said the obesity was caused by endocrine disorders and had nothing to do with the whitening pills at all. The siblings from Maya's family had gloomy faces. The male anchor, to avoid being scolded, recorded an apology video for them. That apology video became a hot search topic in less than 3 hours. I glanced at Maya's dejected look and sneered coldly. From now on, even if she had medical skills, she couldn't be a forensic doctor anymore. I thought that after this incident, Maya should hate me to the core. I didn't expect she was so thick-skinned. Maya knelt in front of me crying, Ella, I was wrong last time. It was my father who threatened me. I know I'm wrong. I accept your apology. I said indifferently. Maya was stunned for a few seconds. She had already thought of 10,000 excuses. She didn't expect me to forgive her so easily. Maya was secretly happy and said, Ella, I knew you were the nicest to me. My father asked me to drop out of school and work. I don't want to. Ella, you're the only one who can help me now. I can't help with this. If you've been admitted to a university, then go and study. If you haven't, I can't do anything either. I pretended not to understand her implication. I've been admitted to a second-tier university. You know I want to study medicine. Maya said pitifully. A second-tier university can also offer medical courses. If you want to change schools, you can upgrade from a junior college student to an undergraduate and then take an exam to enter a top-tier university. I analyzed it for her with an innocent and kind look. Maya's eyes were full of anger, but she didn't dare to vent it on me. Isn't your mother a medical professor at Peking University? If she gives me a quota, I can go to Peking University to study. Maya looked into my eyes and said gently. I smiled slightly and didn't say anything. Maya saw I was smiling and took my hand, acting sweetly. Ella, please help me. Who do you think you are? I said coldly. Maya didn't expect me to suddenly change my attitude. What? Why are you so thick-skinned? You set me up and still dare to come to me for help. I shook off her hand, sat on the sofa, and looked at her coldly. Maya understood I wouldn't help her. She gave me a vicious glare and left. The next day, Ethan came to pester me. I was speechless. It was my kindness that I didn't ruin them completely, but they kept coming to me without knowing what was good for them. I couldn't stand it anymore. Ella, last time when I confessed to you, I understand what you said now. Please give me a chance, Ethan said affectionately. Sorry, I don't like you. Please don't bother me. I felt sick seeing his hypocritical look. Ella, just give me a chance. I'll prove it to you. Ethan's deep and sticky voice sounded as if he thought he was so charming. How will you prove it? I wanted to tease him a bit when I saw him like this. You go to the same university as me. I'll buy you breakfast every day. Ethan thought I was interested in him. It was really ridiculous. You want me to go to a second-tier university with you? I asked. Ethan thought I was touched. Yes, I'll take good care of you. Are you and Maya both as thick-skinned as a wall in your family? You're such an overconfident guy, I said. Why are you like this? I really care about you. It'll be more convenient for us to develop our relationship if we're in the same school. Ethan looked at me affectionately. I sneered. Originally, I thought I wouldn't pay attention to others, but since he came to disgust me on his own initiative, don't blame me. Uncle Jonathan, see the guest out. Don't let such nobodies in casually in the future. I picked up my coffee and took a sip slowly. Then I took out my phone and sent a message. Finally, I had a peaceful period of time. I happily prepared for university. I looked at the gate of Tsinghua University, and a sense of freshness welled up in my heart. This was my regret in my past life. Ella. A cold and magnetic voice came over. I saw a familiar person. Tyler, why are you here? I'm going to Tsinghua University. The corners of Tyler's mouth turned up, and his eyes were full of twinkling stars. I was confused. In my past life, Tyler went to Peking University. Why did he switch to Tsinghua University? I heard you were going to take the exam for Peking University. Why did you change? Because the person I like is at Tsinghua University, so I came here. Tyler's bright eyes looked straight at me. Isn't your dream to go to Peking University? Is it worth it for an uncertain person? I asked. It's worth it. Because she's my lighthouse. I didn't change my destination, but I can't live without the lighthouse, Tyler said with a doting look. What if your lighthouse doesn't want you? I looked down the road inside. Then I'll always follow her and won't disturb her, Tyler said calmly. I smiled slightly and walked into the campus. The next time I heard about the siblings from Maya's family was in the classmate group chat. I heard they were being chased by debt collectors and didn't go to university. Ethan was working as a bricklayer on a construction site, and Maya was married to a foreman by her parents. I just smiled and clicked Do Not Disturb on the group messages. The scar-faced man really had the guts and easily dealt with Maya's family. The wicked will always be punished by someone even worse. When I looked up, I saw the afternoon sunlight gently shining on the ground outside the window. Tyler was waiting for me gently. Some people say that university is a new beginning for a person, while, for me, it's a rebirth from the ashes.